Hello everybody, it's Callum at Repair Wins, and in the video today I'm going to teach you how to clean a computer keyboard. This one is fairly old, it's fairly grubby. Chances are yours won't be as old as this one, and it's probably not going to be as grimy either. I know it doesn't come across too badly on camera, but trust me, it is fairly grubby. And if you don't believe me when I say it's old, it's got a PS2 connector on it. This thing is about 20, but it works perfectly fine, and a lot of modern computers still have a PS2 connector. You don't exactly move your desktop around a lot, so why not clean this old thing up and carry on using it, you know? My main motivator though is that I use one of these things on the desk behind me, and I help run a non-profit where I also have a computer, but it has a different keyboard. So if you do a lot of typing, you'll know it's nice to type on the same keyboard. And switching from my rubbish keyboard here to an even worse keyboard over there was just a pain. So I suppose I better stop rambling. I'm going to show you how to remove all the keys, how to clean all the rubbish that's inside, how to clean the keys themselves, and then crucially how to put it all back together without, without breaking it. So without any further ado, let's get started. This is what we're dealing with then. If I just bring you down, you can see that it's quite grimy, quite dirty, especially around the middle. The number pad isn't as bad, but regardless, it's not very nice, not very sanitary, and you wouldn't want to spend all day typing on it knowing that's someone else's dust and germs and other gross stuff. Anyway though, the idea is that we're going to pull all the keys off individually. Once the keys are pulled off, we'll use a toothbrush and a hoover to free all the dust and the dirt on the inside, and we'll hoover it away. And then we'll clean the keys in a big basin of soapy water. The first port of call, by the way, is just to give it a quick wet wipe. So just sort of hold it and, go over the entire thing with a wet wipe. You probably didn't need me to tell you that, but hey, I'm going to tell you anyway. One thing I will suggest though is that don't use those massive floor wipes that you get. You don't want to fill it with liquid, you just want to sort of, clean all the dust that's off of the surface and clean any of the real grime off. So you can see there's some stuff going on the side of the keys, but that's okay. You don't want to fill the thing full of liquid, that's all. But this is all I'm going to do. I'm just going to go around the sides, just do it a couple times, couple of passes, and that's all you got to do. And then you can just lie it down on its front and then do the bottom as well. And you can see that this keyboard has both of its feet. The one that I have on my desk is, it was missing one of the feet, so I ended up making a 3D model so that I could basically print a replacement, and I'm pleased to say that model has worked for the last sort of year that I've been using it. And that is the power of 3D printing. Oh, and if you happen to have exactly the same model and you're missing a foot, I put the model on Printables, and it's completely free to download. Anyway though, I've wet wiped that, so I'm just going to grab a flathead screwdriver to remove this bit of muck here. Now obviously aesthetics aren't really that important. This is an old keyboard and it's not in great condition, but there's no need to scratch the life out of it unnecessarily. I think this is blue tack actually. It would make sense because the keyboard is second hand from a business, because most home users aren't putting blue tack on the desk which then gets stuck to the keyboard. It's usually a business. But anyway, you can see I've cleaned the muck off of there. Happy days. You may have noticed that I didn't wet wipe the individual keys down, and the reason for that is that they're all going to get removed and be cleaned separately. So the tool I'll use to remove them, very simple, just a flathead screwdriver. Found this one dumped downstairs in my apartment building because of course I did. So all I'm going to do is just get it under and just pop it through. So I'll put my hand completely over there to stop it from pinging up at you. But now that I've removed one, I'll make it so you can actually see what I'm doing. So I'll get the key, bring it up nice and close, and I'm just putting the tool under. And this is a cheap, old, rubbish keyboard. I'm not terribly worried about marring the keys slightly. If you had something a bit nicer, chances are you'd take a bit more care. But with that being said, I am being gentle. But there are official tools you can buy that sort of grip the key on two sides and you pull it out. But to be honest, I've never had much luck with those tools. I prefer to just do it the lazy way, or should I say, to do it the old-fashioned way with a screwdriver. So I'm just going to pop the rest of these keys free now. One thing you don't want to do, by the way, is twist the screwdriver. So you just use the flat side, and it's just lever action, but you're not twisting it, alright? So it's like this. Use it as a lever. See where I prefer the screwdriver? It's 100 times faster than the other tools. There we go. You can see sort of the muck a bit more clearly now, can't you? Not very nice at all. So then, you'll notice I've left the bigger keys until last, and that's because they usually have some sort of a spring mechanism beneath them. So I'll remove this tab key because I don't think that has a mechanism. Yeah, and you'll notice I did that one by hand, and the answer is no. This is a really cheap keyboard, so there's no special mechanism. I'd be very surprised if some of these larger ones don't though. Yeah, okay, this is what I'm talking about. It's got this sort of metal bar here, so just make sure that you kind of hold this here and you take a photo of it, and then that way you'll know exactly which position the bar goes into. So just do that for all of the keys that you remove that have got a special mechanism. Bring your phone down, take a picture, and then that way you'll know where the key goes and which way the mechanism goes. I'm just going to remove the rest of these keys now, and I'm going to take photos as I do it. And that's pretty gross. How about I just get you in nice and close? You see all that grime, isn't that lovely? Anyway, by the time we're done, 95% of that's going to be gone, and this keyboard's going to look 100 times better. Anyway, these are all the keys that had a bar stuck to the bottom of them. I'm going to mount a camera overhead and just use a toothbrush to clean the rubbish off so you can see how I do it. The process then is surprisingly simple, just literally. This is a scabby old toothbrush. I've got loads of them spare that I've sort of saved from over the years. You put them in boiling water and you let them cool down, and that'll kill the bacteria, and then you can use them. You can use them for projects like this. There you go. I'm not getting this perfect, I'm just cleaning the rubbish off of it. So you can see that's now free of dust and it looks a lot better. And we'll do it one more time. So this is pretty grimy, but with just 10 seconds of work, you get it looking decent. Some people blow on it, but then you end up with a face full of dust, so I'm not about to do that. There you go, look. Much better. So all you need to do is do that for the remaining keys, and then obviously when you're done, add them to the pile, and once you've got a full pile, I'll show you what to do next. When you're done removing a key that has a bar, just grab the bar like this, and just pull it straight out of the key. There you are, just like that. Not terribly difficult. Sometimes they do get a bit stuck if they've been there for a long time, but yeah, same procedure. You just open the bar up, grab onto it, and then pull it directly outwards towards yourself. Like that. Once you're done, store your bars in one pile and your keys in another pile. Don't worry about the bars all being mixed together. The vast majority of them are the same size, and it's fairly obvious which one of those is for the space bar, isn't it? I've put some hand soap and cold water in here. I'll just use that stuff, it's from Aldi. You can use dish soap as well. Any kind of hand soap will be okay. Just don't use bleach or kitchen or toilet cleaner or whatever. Just needs to be hand soap or dish soap. Anyway, I've put some in here. I've added a bit of cold water. I'm going to dump all the keys in, and then when the keys are in, I'm going to add a bunch more water. This really isn't rocket science, just cold water. Keys are in the basin. I'm going to shake them around a bit. That's about as full as I want it, so I've just turned it off. I thought I'd bring the same basin of water through into the office just so it's easier to see what I'm doing. But this is literally the method, alright? I'm just going to slide my watch up and... this is all I'm doing. I'm just grabbing the keys, swishing them around in the water with my hands. They're all getting covered in soap, and you'll see that already, look how much cleaner and better that looks. So honestly, do that for a minute 30, 2 minutes, and you're good. Your keys will all be nice and clean. If there is a little bit of grime individually on the sides, then you'll notice that as it's going back together. You can just swipe it away with a wet wipe before it goes back together. But this is the fastest method I've found to clean old computer keyboard keys, because I used to clean every single key individually with a sponge, and it would be a 2-hour job. There's just There's just no point doing it like that. Do it like this. And you'll save absolutely loads of time. But anyway, I'm going to swirl this around for 1 more minute, and then these keys will be more than clean enough, and I'll stick them somewhere to dry. As for the bars, I'm just going to clean them individually. It only takes a few moments to clean each bar, and then it can just get put somewhere out of the way. I apologise for the background noise, that's the washing machine you can hear. But all I'm going to do is scoop these keys out, shake them off a bit, and just stick them on the towel. Now that they're on the towel, just going to distribute them around a bit better, so we don't soak straight into one section of the towel. Just move them all around, look. Make sure there's space between them. This isn't a scientific process, you know, I'm just moving them about. And then I can use a tea towel, which I've got right here, and I can put them, I can just sort of dry a bit off of the top like this, and then lift it off from here and just do it gently, because otherwise you'll swipe them all around the place and that defeats the purpose. Don't worry about the sort of soapy residue that's left in there, that's absolutely fine. If you do want to get rid of the soapy residue, by the way, scoop all these out into a container, run them under the tap, and that's going to get rid of all the soap suds, and then stick them on the towel afterwards. I've just decided to skip that step because you don't need to do it. If you leave this for long enough, it'll dry. If you want to do it, you know, if you want it to dry faster, put them all upside down and whatnot, but I don't want to stand here for the next 5 minutes flipping over one key at a time. So then, you might be wondering how we get all of the junk that's in here off. And there's 2 tools you use. Number 1, good old toothbrush. Number 2, a hoover. So use a toothbrush, agitate all the muck whilst the hoover's switched on, and then just basically suck all the dust away and go around and, you know, do that with the entire thing. Now, obviously don't like bang the end of the hoover off of this thing, don't scratch it along, otherwise you're just going to scratch everything and make it horrible. Just sort of hold it slightly above and go like this. You can see already that's made a big difference. It's still not great, but just using the hoover has already done a lot for us. I think you can kind of see what we're going for there, can't you? So look at that, that's obviously a lot better. It's still not perfect. I'm going to make a few more passes, and obviously I need to do where the number keys and the function keys and where the number pad is and stuff, but I'm going to do the rest of that off camera. Ready for the reveal? There you go, look at that. Lovely and clean. As promised earlier, it's 95% better than it was. I never said it would end up looking perfect, and it doesn't. You can see there is still some muck and whatnot down here. Now, if I really cared, I would use a wet wipe. I'd put it on my pinky finger and I would go in here and I would clean every last little bit, but there's just no point. As soon as you start using the keyboard, it's going to get dirty again anyway. Obviously, you can't see under the keys, and then furthermore, you can actually damage it by trying to make it 100% perfect. So just accept that it's never going to be absolutely perfect. 95% clean is good enough. All you need to do now is pop all the keys back on, so that's exactly what we're going to do next. All that's left to do now is to reinstall the keys, so I'm just going to put all the keys on that don't have any kind of bracket or mechanism or anything beneath them. So the first one I picked up is pause break, so that goes there. I've got num lock, which I believe goes here. And it doesn't, I'm glad I checked, num lock goes there. And then so on, I'm just going to keep going through the list until basically I'm done with every single key. Now, I must admit, it's very handy having another keyboard of exactly the same model right behind me. All you would do is you would take a photo pretty much to make sure that you've got all the keys going back where they're supposed to go. It's taken me this long, by the way, to realise that I've got another keyboard here that I can just stick on my lap, so that's exactly what I'm going to do, and hopefully the process goes a bit faster now. You know, it's actually quite satisfying putting all these keys in and just watching everything slowly come back. And it's nice to know that this thing was manky and horrible, and now it's slowly becoming clean and nice. And it hasn't actually taken all that long. All that really takes any time is waiting for the keys to dry. Otherwise it's 15-20 minutes of work at most. There we go. Awesome. I just thought I'd put the zoom into level 2 so you can see what I'm doing here. This is the backspace key. I'm going to hold it up. And then I'm just going to get this bar and click it into place. You'll see you've got these two little got this notch here and this notch here where it originally came from. Push down, it'll click, push again, it'll click, and then you just line it up and hook it under. Hooked under, then it pushes on like any other key. Really simple. You just have to do that for all of the keys that are missing. And I'm just going to do this for all the other keys nice and quickly. Here we are then. Very, very little grime left on these keys. They shine again, like they probably did back in 2005 when it was built. I can't see anything if I'm looking between those keys. And yeah, they all click nicely, exactly the way they're supposed to, including all of the special keys that have got the extra bracketry beneath them. So yes, that is how you clean a really grimy computer keyboard, and it'll only take you about 20 minutes, not including the time it takes the things to dry out, of course. But yes, that's the entire process. There we have it then, everybody. I managed to take this horrible old keyboard, clean it up, make it shine, and now it looks almost as good as new. And the best part is, it only took me sort of 20 to 25 minutes. Now, of course, that doesn't include the time drying the thing out, but it's really not a difficult repair to do. Won't take you too long, and the only tool you need is a flathead screwdriver. And if you don't have a flathead screwdriver, I've done it before with a butter knife. It takes a bit longer, but it's a repair that's truly open and accessible to anybody, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from. Anyway, if the video was useful to you, then feel free to leave me a like. That would help immensely. It means more people are going to see the video, more people are going to be able to clean their own keyboards. Ideally, more people are going to poke around the channel, and that means that the repair message is going to get spread further, and that's exactly what we aim to do. Because the more people who are fixing their own goods, the more people keep their own money in their own back pockets. The billionaires have enough of it. Keep your own cash in your own back pocket. Why wouldn't you? Anyway, if you want to see where the channel ends up going, then feel free to hit subscribe. That would help even more. A whopping 35 subscribers. Oh my god, wow. How great is that? We'll look back in 10 years and we'll be at 600 subscribers and it'll all have been a waste of time. Or this channel will actually go somewhere and we'll have the power to lobby manufacturers. Who the hell knows?